Hey, happy Monday. Your man Omid here with you again to help you make sense of this crazy wackadoodle market. A gaggle of reports are coming at us this week, so I'm going to show you those. We're going to talk about what's happening with the NAR settlement and how it affects the NWMLS. We're also going to talk about some concerning phone calls about inventory that we're receiving on a regular, so I'm going to break that down for you. So stay with me for a few minutes, and I promise you'll be smarter than when you started. All right. Last week's marketplace, we had a great pickup, as you know. Several days that were great off of weaker than expected employment numbers and economic data. Since then, we've given it back as almost as quickly as we got it. They're still not bad though. We're not at 7% for a 30-year fix right now. Last week we were at that average of 6.34. This week we're at 6.55 nationally. Remember, these are national numbers, average numbers. 780 credit scores, 20% down. So definitely visit with your loan officer to get your situation. What was interesting about last week for me is that we had the S&P had its biggest one-day drop and the best recovery that it's ever had since 2022. This just basically goes to show you that the volatility of the market is very, very high, and the market is asking the Federal Reserve to step in and give us a clear path, which they hopefully will sometime in September. Now, for this week, NFIB small business surveys coming out, PPI, which is a market mover, Producers Price Index measuring wholesale inflation, CPI Consumer Price Index measuring retail inflation comes out. Retail sales, jobless claims, and National Association of Home Builders are going to come out tomorrow. And then University of Michigan releases a consumer sentiment report, which is actually going to be pretty important. That comes out on Friday. Now, as always, if you get value from these videos, please do me a favor. We are trying our best to be able to get up there as far as the algorithms goes for YouTube. So do me a favor, give me a thumbs up right now, if you will, and then consider subscribing as well as sharing this with just one other person who's in the market or is a professional real estate of any kind, builder, seller, whatever that is. This will help them out and get everybody educated up. Okay, now August 17th, right around the corner, the National Association of Realtors Settlements coming out. Unless you've been living under a rock, you already know about this. I'm not going to bore you to death about what it is, but here's the cool part. The Washington State Northwest Multiple Listing Service is like the cool kid around the block. It doesn't follow the crowd and doesn't fall under the control or guide of the NAR when it comes to things like this. And also, probably more importantly, Washington State has been an overachiever, a forerunner, if you will, because we've had very clear and transparent compensation disclosures since January of 2024. So there's not a whole lot that's going to do with us, not a whole lot that's going to affect us. We have some consumers that call and they go, who can pay? I don't have enough money to pay for my real estate agent's fees. It's okay. Out here is fine. You can still disclose it. You can still pay them from the seller side, as well as being able to figure out exactly who's receiving what kind of money and where does it go. These things are very, very open and transparent here. Definitely visit with your agent if you're a consumer on this call to make sure that you understand what's happening and where. Now, inventory concerns. I want to direct your attention to something. Take a look at this. So this is July. This is July again. This is July again. This is July again. Do you see any hints here? Look what's happening. Besides the pandemic, when everybody stayed home, every July, inventory goes up. Why? People take vacations. They don't want to buy houses. They want to enjoy the summer, right? This slowdown is very, very typical. But then the news makes it sound like, oh my goodness, we've got so much inventory, we're going to have a housing recession. Stop it. We're not. Only 4 states out of the 50 states in this country have an overabundance of inventory that has actually gone up since 2019. That's Texas, Idaho, Florida, and Tennessee. And look at what's happening to these folks' population. It's exceeding their inventory anyway, so it's a moot point. But this is how the media tries to scare us into things, right? So only 4 states has that. Out of the 4 states, Idaho has state income tax. The rest of them don't, so maybe that's why folks are moving down there to get away from some of those things. Northeastern states are actually 65% less in inventory from now as compared to pre-pandemic. So the population, which is the most important part, is outpacing the inventory. So we're not concerned about this. What I am concerned about is the fact that the delinquencies on credit cards and car loans, 90 days or more, I think the last time you didn't pay a bill for 90 days, right? Something horrible was happening in your life. 90 days or more, these delinquencies are going up through the roof. Look, in 2011, when the unemployment rate was at 11%, that's understandable, right? People lose their jobs, they can't pay their bills. Right now, unemployment rate of 4%. So the fact that we are seeing this level of delinquencies in credit card and this one in car notes is very, very disconcerting. The other part that really, really bugs me as well is the buy now, pay later program, the layaway, if you will, of the old school, which has now been rebranded as buy now, pay later. Those folks don't report delinquencies, so we don't even know what's waiting for us out there. Okay, so word to the wise, if you find yourself in this situation, especially if you're a homeowner, pick up the phone and call me. Let's talk about what kind of equity you have. There's tons of refinances that are being done where we're moving people from 4% to 7%. It's like, eek, I can't believe you're doing that. They are, and they're saving themselves $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 per month in overpaid interest. So there's a way to leverage your property to get out of consumer debt and then live to fight another day and refinance it down the road. Happy to help you with that, okay? As always, like and comment and subscribe, please and thank you. And if you need anything, do reach out. Cheers.